One. Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, it's been a minute, but Coach Barakoff is back. Coach, it's been way too long since we've had a chance to do this. You moved off to Portland on me. Then we couldn't get together because you were too dang busy. Now you're too busy moving back. You got a whole new show. We'll talk about that. We finally found time. We're going to try to do these on every Sunday. I can't guarantee it because life happens, right? But we're going to try to do these every Sunday. Great to see your face, brother. Congratulations on the new gig at Enid, being the head coach there. Congratulations on your new show. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, Case, man, it's been you and I have been trying to get together to do this for it seems like every week, and one of us has something going on. But there's nothing more relaxing and exciting than being on Dodgers Daily. I thoroughly love this show, and because of this show, I was able to get picked up by a show called The Ravine Rundown. It's my own podcast, live show. So if you're seeing any brand new tweets out there from me on The Ravine Rundown, that's me. It's not some fake Dodger fan, but yeah, I'm back in Oklahoma. I'm the new head coach at Enid High School. I wanted to get back with my family and be in the great state of Oklahoma. And on another cool note, Casey, if either this coming month or July, I'll be back in the press box doing the pitch clock for the Oklahoma City Comets. So a lot of exciting stuff to go on, and I'm pumped to be back on the show that makes me feel really good, Dodgers Daily. Okay,
man. We're going to get into – I got a lot of soapboxes tonight. I got 11 pages of notes to go over, right? I mean – this is going to be a therapy session for me, Coach, so you're probably going to be like, this dumb sucker needs to just shut the hell up. That's probably how this show's going to end up. Okay. This offensive output for the Dodgers, this isn't just they're in a little funk, And, hey, they can win a world championship playing offense like this. We saw that last year, so I don't mean that. This has been going on since last June, Coach. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it's to the point now to where somebody in the organization needs to address it. Okay, not saying fire anybody. That's not what I'm saying. But, what in the world is going on? Why do we have Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Tucker, Freddie Freeman getting ready to have Mookie Betts, Max Muncy? Okay, everybody that we wanted to put on our roster for the last 3 years we've gotten. Why are we playing offense like this? It should be better than it is. It's been going on for too long. I know that's too dramatic. That's how I feel, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been looking at it a lot the last couple weeks, and it was one, I'll be real quick. It was like Freddie Freeman's not hitting, and then I broke down the numbers and I looked at it. Now Freddie's starting to hit. Kyle Tucker, Dodger fans are already putting this guy out, to get rid of him, and I think Kyle Tucker's going to get hitting. Max Muncy hit a home run today. It looked good, but you're right. It's the inconsistency is what we're seeing from this lineup, and it's either you and I and fans that we look at this lineup and say this lineup should be getting 8 to 10 runs every single game. Either our expectations are so high, we're paying these guys so much, or they're in a funk. And you, as I know, as coaches, that you go through these things, and baseball is a long season, and the ups and downs are big. But there's something weird about this, that it's not like a every now and then. It seems to be a consistent funk right now with the Dodgers, and I can't put a finger on it. It's frustrating. And maybe as a fan, my expectations, Casey, are, gosh, we're just gonna. It's like we're gonna hit up and down this order, and then it doesn't happen. And people that know me that have been on the show, I'm Mr. Positivity, and yes. I think the first time I said with my brother and my buddy Izzy today, what is going on with Ohtani?
Yeah.
And my brother and I talked in depth about it on another thing, but Ohtani's worrying me a little bit. What is he? He's 4 for 33 with 1 home run and 100+ at-bats. I don't know, Case. It's a funk, but it sure is a funky funk, if you want to go that way.
Last 30 days for Shohei Ohtani, Coach. 30 days. That's a pretty good sample size, man.
Yeah.
228, 355, 391. That's his slash line. Here, okay, so that's fine if he's like hitting game-changing home runs, right? 3 home runs, 26 strikeouts, okay? So Ohtani overall, I mean, I'm not going to make too big of a deal out of it. He's still, by no stretch of the imagination, a bad offensive player, don't get me wrong. But he is quite a ways away from a superstar, which is what you're paying him for. Now, he has been a superstar, obviously, pitching. But that's what you're paying him for, and that's also what you actually need out of him, especially now that Mookie Betts, by the way, Mookie Betts in Oklahoma City coming back. But, you know, Freddie Freeman hasn't had the greatest of years. Teoscar Hernandez not having a good year at all. Max Muncy has been very inconsistent. He was really good there for a stretch. Hasn't been very good in the last, 7 or 8 games. So Shohei Ohtani hasn't been terrible, but he has not been a superstar, and he just point blank has not been good in the last month.
Yeah, and it's funny to say you take Pages out of that lineup. Where is the hitting even coming from? Other than I mean, Kim was hitting 300, and now he might have dipped below that 300 line after the series. But yeah, it's been frustrating. It's Kyle Tucker. I wasn't expecting a ton, but with what the Dodgers paid him, I was expecting more.
Yes,
I
higher floor.
I think. I posed this question to my brother just on text tonight. I said, do we need to move Ohtani out of the leadoff spot with Betts coming back? Is that something you do? And I don't know if that's the answer, but I mean, if you're going to move Tucker from 4 to 8 to 7 and move Pages up and down, I almost think it's time. Do we take a look at Ohtani and move him out of that leadoff spot? I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm just posing that question. Is Ohtani, should Betts maybe move into that spot? Casey, I'm almost asking you. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the, like whenever Andy Pages was going so awesome and he was down the 9 hole or whatever it was, and it's like, well, he's hitting so good, move him up. I'm like, no, don't move somebody who, don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the exact opposite of that is if somebody's not going very well, then sometimes, it's like a player, coach. Whenever they go to a different organization, it's not the other organization has better coaches or this or that. It's just sometimes a change of scenery is a fresh start that you need, right? I mean, so maybe you put a guy at a stretch 3 and give him a couple of outside shots so then he can start playing better and rebound, just kind of that thing. So maybe he does need a different look. I wouldn't say it would be a permanent thing. I would think it would be, there's times throughout 162 we make the statement, it's 1 out of 162. That's correct. And you don't want to overreact. But there are times to where managers have to push buttons. You know that, Coach.
Yeah.
So this may be a time to where you push a button for a Shohei Ohtani. But I will say about Kyle Tucker, he hasn't been unbelievable. But in his last 7 days, Coach, his OPS is 1089. He's getting on base a lot better, okay? And he has 16 walks over his last 26 games. So I'll say one thing about Kyle Tucker, his OPS over the last 30 days, a little under 800. But in the last 2 weeks, the last week or so, he's been getting on base, and the slug has been decent. So I'll defend Kyle Tucker there. It's just he got off to such a slow start. I just think it's hard for Dodgers brains to kind of wrap back around to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I think they've got the Conforto, scared of the Conforto thing. And I'm like, but Kyle Tucker is not that guy. I've never worried about Kyle Tucker. I think he's going to be fine. You and I have talked about this before, and you kind of changed. I wouldn't say you made me think this way, but it's like almost let's get to the All-Star break, and then let's really evaluate the numbers. And I think Kyle Tucker, let's give him to the All-Star break. And I'm like, let's give him till after the All-Star break. It's Kyle Tucker, for goodness sakes. Now, I'm going to go and say this. I'm going to give you another guy. Tio is the one that concerns me a little bit. And I don't know if I've ever thought I would ever say that because I love the guy. I think he's great for it. But there's something weird about him this year. I don't want to say he's complacent, but I don't know. His swing doesn't look right. I would love to get your thought on Tio. Am I jumping the gun here a little bit, the way he looks in left field in terms of hitting right now? 27 strikeouts in his last 81 at-bats. Yeah.
Let me say that again.
Yeah. 27
strikeouts in his last 81 at-bats. That's over the last 30 days. Okay?
Yeah.
So I get it. And I said this and I defended him. okay? And I will continue to defend him because, again, I love Teo, and we have Teo we have your boy, Kike, and Teo in the organization for one thing, and that is, although Teo wasn't great in the World Series, you trust them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And the goal isn't to win a game on May 7th or Mother's Day, whatever, May 10th. The goal is to win a World Series. And I think you'd have a hard time convincing me that having Kike Hernandez and Teo Hernandez on the postseason roster does not advance the cause forward to that goal of the Dodgers winning a World Series. Having said that, okay, I gotta call him in or something and say, hey man, I get it, you get bored. I get it, the regular season doesn't define Teo Hernandez. But bro, 27 strikeouts and 81 at bats over the last 30 days. 210 average over the last 30 days. No home runs in the last 15 days. And a 417 OPS over the last week. I mean, hey, bro, I get it. I understand all the big picture stuff. It's too bad, though. It's too bad. You got to fix something. We got to do. I mean, it's to the point to where it's too glaringly obvious. Yeah. Something has to get fixed here because it's just been. And he had a bad June last year too. But I just think it's to the point to where it's got to be there. It's got to be brought up at least, right?
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm not like worried. It's just like I wouldn't say. Let's just say concerning a little bit. I'm not worried. Like I still think, although we're tied with the Padres, which just it is what it is. The Padres are a good baseball team. Atlanta, record-wise, is the best team in baseball. They took it to us. I mean, they beat us 2 out of 3. But like Teo is just concerning to me. I'm not worried about him. I'm always. You and I know we both are huge fans of Teo. I love the guy. I think he's great for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But it's like, and yeah, you're right. It's Mother's Day. It's May 10th.
Yeah.
But it's still, when I sit on my couch, and I want everybody to realize I'm sitting on my couch. I'm not out there playing. I have no clue what's going on with these guys. But when I'm sitting on my couch, I'm like, these aren't good swings. It's not a good at bat. And I can say the same thing about Ohtani. He's not had good at bats. It just doesn't look right to me. And again, Ohtani, this was the discussion. I've had this before. He's 0.97 ERA. He's got 4 earned runs on the year, 42 Ks in 37 innings pitched or whatever it is. But he's just not hitting. And yes, he's a superstar. And yes, he could explode Casey at any minute and have monumental numbers offensively. But there's something weird with what's going on with him at the plate. And that's all I'll leave it at. There's something strange. It doesn't look right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another thing is that, like, every game, win or lose, it seems like the Dodgers only have 1 or 2 guys that go well that game. Like, kind of what I expected out of this offense. And, yeah, this seems kind of negative. Sorry, I'm usually not negative. Coach Barikoff is way more positive than I am.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get real about this. This is frustrating to me, and I'm being a spoiled brat because, again, we're in first place. We've won the last 2 World Series. But I'm a Dodgers fan, so I have the right to be a spoiled brat, okay? If I go to a Dodgers game, it's going to cost me about $500 to go, okay? So I have the right to be a spoiled brat, all right? We're the Dodgers. Spend more money than everybody else. So I fully admit I'm being a spoiled brat. I'm also saying I don't care, okay? Yeah. All of that all in the same token because I want to see the Dodgers team that I expect. So it just seems like to me every game it's Andy Pages and one other guy or one other guy and Max Muncy. And it's never – what I thought would happen is like 1 through 9, everybody would pick each other up, and it just would be such a relentless and lengthy lineup that there just would be no catastrophically bad performances by anybody. And because the lineup just was so good 1 through 9, it would wear pitchers down to the point to where this was just a relentless offense. Yeah. I think one of the things that's disappointed me the most is that it's been top-heavy per game, whoever the 2 or 3 top hitters are that game. Then the rest of the lineup, it just seems like does nothing but strike out. So that kind of inconsistency game per game has me very frustrated from my coach's brain.
Well, you say top-heavy, maybe more on the lines of bottom-heavy because it's what 6, 7, 8, 9 that are first in all of baseball in terms of that order placement. So it's the superstars the top-heavy guys that are not hitting for us right now. And now that's not saying that they're not going to, but on May 10th right now, they're struggling.
They are.
There's something amiss within their approach at the plate. And, but that tells you how good the Dodgers are. If we want to make something positive out of this with Kim, Freeland, Pages, Rojas, Muncy, if 6, 7, 8, 9 are first in all of baseball in terms of the order placement, then that's pretty good for the Dodgers. And imagine, I guess as a fan, I sit here and say, man, could you imagine when Ohtani and Freeman and Teo and Tucker start actually hitting like this team? But you know what? They're not right now. And the Braves have taken 2 out of 3. We went, 6 and 7 on the road. That's not great. That's not great. And we talked about it last year a little bit. Yeah, the Dodgers were going for the back-to-back, and is it almost now that they're going for this three-peat that they're just like, we're just good enough, let's get into the playoffs, and then we'll just turn it on, and maybe they will. I don't know. Who am I to judge? I mean, they've won 2 in a row. But as I sit here on Mother's Day, it didn't look right to me today watching them play the Braves the last 2 games. I mean, the opening of the series was good, but the last 2 games wasn't good to me.
Hyesung Kim. So let's get into some bright spots. Hyesung Kim has definitely been a bright spot, coach. The last 30 days, 279, absolutely. 5 stolen bases, an OPS comfortably over 700. And just the excitement. So kind of what you're saying is just watching the Dodgers is just like, golly, man, can I read a book or something other than watching this game? It's just I don't want to watch this game anymore because it's just not entertaining. It's I want to watch the Dodgers, A, to be entertained, and then B, to like enjoy it and that kind of deal. And again, here I go being a spoiled brat. I'm going to fully admit that. But it's like I'm watching, I'm not entertained. I'm not enjoying it. I find myself more frustrated than anything else. So then I go, okay, well, what are the positives? What are the exciting parts of this? And literally, to me, obviously, the pitching, like when Jack Dreyer comes in or Will Klein, Kyle Hurt, who's been absolutely dominating. Yeah. That's super exciting. But I think that, for me, has been Hyesung Kim. I'm excited to see him do something on the baseball field every time he gets a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kim, other than his errant throw the other day, or 2 days ago, or what was it, Saturday. I mean, he's had 3 errors. 22, 23 hits, plus it was over 300 going into this series. I've loved Kim. I think he's great. I think the Dodgers have big decisions to make between Kim and Freeland, and I'm not about to get into the comparison of the two. Yeah. But I think those 2 guys that is the future of the middle infield for the Dodgers, possibly, correct? I mean, I could say that, Freeland and Kim up the middle. But Kim's exciting. There's something about Kim that you love having him on your roster. He could steal a base. He could take an extra base. He can go from first to home, something in the alley. It's exciting to see Kim out there. That's coming back on Monday. I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen on Monday and seeing that lineup being announced. I mean, Freeland and Kim, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors and who's been talked to. Maybe one of those guys is going to go down to Oklahoma City. But Kim's been exciting. I think you're exactly right. He's been one of the bright spots, and his swing looks pretty good. And I'm pumped about Kim also.
He's definitely cooled off here in the last week. I get it. So I know you're probably saying, well, he hadn't been very good in the last. I get it. I'm just talking about overall trends. Yeah. Because I mean, when you get into the stage of the season, one game goes into the next. It's more important. The conversations are more important about overall trends, over long enough windows that matter than just sitting here trying to analyze just one game on Mother's Day, May 10th, right? So I like to look at overall trends more in terms of the ebbs and flows of how a season goes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Kim, and I bring up Freeland again. They've shown that they could be on this roster and contribute. Freeland. I don't like comparing the 2 of them, but I really like the future that is bright for us for Dodger fans in the middle infield because. Edman, who knows? I mean, he just got put on the 60-day. I think that was all expected, but that's coming back. But Kim's exciting, and I'm not worried about that he hasn't had a good week. He's exciting to have on our roster, and I think he's finally you could see a case that he's like relaxed. Like last year was just a whirlwind for him.
No
but
doubt. Yeah.
He looks relaxed and he looks like he belongs, and he belongs on this Dodger roster. So I'm with you. It's exciting.
Let me give you this, okay?
Okay.
You go to Portland, Oregon from Oklahoma. Could not be two complete opposite terms of politics and just culture and lifestyle, right? Okay. So, I mean, for the first year you move, imagine growing up in Oklahoma. So you grew up in California, so you grew up in a little bit closer environment politically and culturally to Portland than somebody like me who grew up in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So imagine growing up in Oklahoma, that's all you know, okay? Move to Portland, Oregon, okay? Have to play on a brand new team, not know the language, not know anybody there, and everybody is analyzing every time you fart, okay? That's what Ha-Seong Kim had to do last year. So if you want to know why last year it seemed like maybe there were some inconsistencies or it looked like he was adjusting, that's why. What he had to do last year was freaking hard, man. He did a great job of it, I'll say that.
And that's why I say he looks more relaxed and more looks like he's part of it, where last year it was just like what you're saying. I mean, it's a complete shock to the system, but God forbid you put that on social media, defending him on what's going on, because that's what Dodger fans don't want to hear. And I get it, and I'm not saying that's anything wrong. Dodger fans have every right to be tough about that, but again, these guys are human beings, and he just looks in his demeanor, in his facial expressions, that he feels like I'm part of this team and I'm not. Like I at least know how to get to and from the stadium. That's what it looks like. Where last year, he was wondering if the Uber driver was going to get him there on time.
That's funny. I made the course. You know me, Coach. If I think it's in the best interest of a player, I'll post it. I don't care how many fans get pissed. I really don't. Yeah. You know that about me. I think that's one reason why we jive pretty good. Yeah. But that's I said this at the time. And I'm just telling you, I wasn't wrong. Okay, I'm wrong about a lot of things. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Way more things than I'm right about. But I was not wrong about this. I knew what I was looking at. And I texted you guys, okay? I'm telling you, when I saw Ha-Seong Media Day, he was a mad son of a bitch, man. He was like, what in the hell am I doing in Oklahoma City right now? And that was a positive thing for me, because he saw himself as a major leaguer. That was a step forward to me in confidence and comfortability to go exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
totally. I remember when you sent that text to the Dodgers Daily group guys, and I'm like, well, that's great to know that he's ticked off. Like, I didn't think anything negative about it. I would rather have a guy ticked off than like, oh, yeah, I'm happy to be in Oklahoma City. So, but I'm excited about Kim. I think it's an exciting thing about Kim. So, I'm pumped.
Alex Freeland, these are some of his leaks, okay? He's always swung and missed too much. And then to do that, he has to compensate for power. So over the last month or so, Alex Freeland, 21 strikeouts in his last 65 at-bats. That's terrible, okay? So you say, well, is he fixing that with his power? Well, his OPS is under 650 in that same window. So Alex Freeland got off to a pretty good start. He's starting to leak, and he's starting to revert back to some of the floor issues, if you will, that he had as a prospect. So I'm really rooting for Alex Freeland to get the swing and miss aspect of his game figured out. And it's tough to do with the role that he has, but, hey, this is the role you're given. So I'm really rooting for Alex Freeland to fix the swing and miss aspect of his game that has crept back in here in the last month or so.
Yeah, I agree. But what I have loved is that man is a wizard with the glove at second base. I did some research on him, range factor, which is a defensive measure. He's fifth in all of in the National League as second baseman. Even Rojas, I don't know if you heard his interview on his bobblehead night, talked about Kim, but he talked about Freeland, how he feels like this guy can really lay the leather down. His batting, his at-bats haven't been great here of late, but it hasn't affected his positional play at second, which I have really liked. Listen, you and I have talked about it. You and I, and a lot of the guys that are on this show with you, we're so high on these young guys, and I'm willing to be patient. You're willing to be patient with them, and it's just got to be hard to be a Los Angeles Dodger young guy because it's so much. I don't know if it's pressure, but it's, man, we've got so-and-so. I'm looking over my shoulder. I got Betts coming back. I got Edman coming back. Kike's coming back. And it's like, where do I fit on this thing? And that's a hard thing. And Dave has given him, like, if you want to use the term, a great runway. He has allowed him to get out there. But you're right. Some of his swing and miss stuff is coming back. Some of his errant at-bats, if that's how you want to call it. But I have been very pleased with his play at second base. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, a guy that good. We haven't seen a guy that good in quite a while for the Dodgers that can really use the leather like Freeland at second.
Tommy Edman.
Yeah, I'm talking before Tommy Edman, and I don't want. I'm going to give my brother a shout out, Steve Sachs, but I know there's been somebody maybe after Sachs, but Freeland really is good with the leather.
100% he is. Okay, so I'm going to give you, first of all, Chris Woodward. Jay says here, compared Ha-Seong Kim to Anderson Simmons. I think that's a really good comparison there. Yeah, both very good athletes. So I'm going to give you a couple of names. One of them's your boy, and Kike Hernandez, and then Joe Kelly. Okay, if I were to ask you, what is the reason why Dodgers fans loved Joe Kelly and Kike Hernandez? Give the common reason why Dodgers fans have loved those two guys so much.
The common reason is so Joe Kelly's craziness and Kike. So we're saying Kike's crazy. Passion. That's where I would go. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but I think the passion to be a Dodger, passion to be on the field. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah. Where I'm going with this?
Yeah, because I mean, I loved Kelly's anger towards everyone else other than Dodgers.
Yes.
Kike's passion for being a Dodger. Help me out, Dodger fans. Am I way off mode here?
Edge. They both have a big time. There you go. Big time edge. Yep. And so to have an edge, sometimes you're going to fire off an F-bomb in a live interview, and it's going to be like the most awesome. Yes. It's going to be the most awesome and the dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life all at once. Sometimes you're going to stick your tongue out like you're in second grade at a professional dugout, and it's going to be the most awesome and the dumbest thing all at the same time, okay? But nobody will be able to convince. I love Freddie Freeman, and he has an edge in his own way, right? He's very laid back. He's just a sweet human being, this and that. Same with Mookie Betts. I think same with Will Smith. I think in a lot of ways, same with Andy Pages. Same with Alex Freeland. Same with Ha-Seong Kim. I think one thing that Dodgers fans love about Max Muncy is that he has an edge. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say this, and you know that I have been on the Dalton rushing train for a long time because the dude can hit. I've been trying to tell people once he gets comfortable, you're going to see the defensive skills. He can really throw the ball to second base.
Yeah.
But above all, Coach, that dude has an edge. And that's an edge that they're missing without a Kike Hernandez. That's an edge that Teo Hernandez has had before. I think that's one of the things that we're seeing with Teo. Like, dude, what's going on, man? Like, he doesn't have that edge to him right now, right? So I think just the edge of Dalton rushing is something that this team needs. They need an injection of that.
Well, I'm not going to plug a certain show, the Ravine Rundown, but that is something that I talked about for a while about Dalton rushing. There was this polarizing figure, and I addressed it before it was addressed, that I like that Dalton rushing is angry and wants to get into it with the other team. It has the snarl and the look of that. And you're right. What happened to Teo is that he's a Dodger now. And the Dodgers are just nice guys that win. I mean, you could just tell. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I mean, smiling at the other team, and anybody that comes over to first base, Freddie, congratulates him on a great hit. And Mookie, has his own podcast where he has these guys on. And Will Smith is Mr. All-American.
Yes.
And then you bring a guy like Kike, who doesn't give a right?
Well, he said that, yeah,
He
on
said
national
that. I'm not
TV.
gonna say that, but
I got about 1.2 million views on that too, so I'm glad he said it.
but that's what like Dalton Rushing brings.
Yeah.
Dalton Rushing is this is why I look at it. And you have been high on Dalton Rushing. I saw Dalton Rushing when he was with Tulsa, and Austin talked about him with Great Lakes, and my daughter and I love Dalton Rushing. Dalton Rushing is a guy that says, I am thankful to being on this Dodgers team, and it means something to me. And that's what it looks like. Like the Giants rivalry, when he had that thing with the Giants, I was like, this is what we need. Like, I can't stand the Giants. I love that Dalton Rushing has a little bit of an edge to him. But bringing Kike back into it, yeah, he has an edge. I don't see a lot of Dodgers having that. Like in the pitching staff, I mean, Kyle Hurt looks like he's, pissed off at the world when he's on the mound, which I like.
He is. He absolutely is.
Robo showed some of that in the playoffs where he went at a guy's neck on an ad, in the World Series. But that's, Casey, this is an interesting topic. I think you and I could talk about this for an hour.
Yeah.
Is it what makes the Dodgers special is that they're this good and they're just nice guys? But they're the evil empire now, right? Everybody hates the Dodgers, but it's like the Dodgers they're going through life where they don't really care who hates them or likes them. But I'm with you. I want to see the Dodgers take out a guy at second base and cause some controversy. Now, I'm not saying I want him to hurt somebody, but I want to see somebody disagree with a guy on something like Dalton Rushing has. And I'm with you. Like, the Dodgers are missing that a little bit. But we've talked about this now going on 3 seasons worth, hoping that they would have an edge. So I don't know, Case. I miss the old days. I don't know if you heard, I'm sure a lot of the fans out there when Oral Hershiser said, it made my wife Stacy laugh when he said, I got a ball thrown at my coconut by Nolan Ryan because I broke the Nolan Ryan rule where I tried to bunt for a single. And Hershiser said, and I learned a lesson. He threw it at my coconut. And my wife thought it was the greatest thing ever. But, Dodgers need a Nolan Ryan type guy every now and then on the mound. Throw some fear at them, right? Am I missing the boat on this?
No, not at all. I think Kyle Hurt's that guy. I think Kyle Hurt has that mentality. He is in FU mode from the time that he takes them out. I'll tell you another part of that is that his path to the major leagues has been anything but easy. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's taken him a long time. Then he finally got there. Then he had Tommy John. He's finally back. This is a guy that played every which sport. His grandpa played in the NFL. His dad's a big-time coach in the SoCal area. His brother was a big-time athlete. Kyle Hurt's legit. I've been saying this for a long time. Yeah. And just the relief effort that he's putting in, if I can scroll down here, between him and the 3 lefties, they've been pretty darn good. So how about this for Kyle Hurt? Last 10 games, Coach. For a reliever, that's a pretty good sample size,
that's a good
right?
Number.
0.90 ERA, 14 strikeouts in 10 innings, 143 batting average against. How about in the last 15 days for Kyle Hurt, however many games that is? No runs allowed, period. Massive swing and miss stuff. Does not give up any kind of quality contact. There's no reason why this guy shouldn't be trusted in all the high leverage moments because, again, to combine with those results, you're putting a mentality out there that we're talking about that the Dodgers need that has an edge. I love Kyle Hurt. I think this guy is absolutely awesome.
Well, I'm glad you backed up with what I said because that's what I see from Kyle Hurt. Now, I wasn't going to give those great numbers, but I was just going to say his demeanor on the mound is what I like from him. And his numbers have backed it up. The dude's almost unhittable right now, and he didn't have a great he didn't give up a run, but he gave up guys on base, and then he just really locked in and shut down and got out of there, and he threw the emotion. It's like I wish more Dodgers would be like him and Vesia.
Yeah.
Every time Vesia gets out of an inning or a jam, it's like it's the World Series for him. I want to see that more from the Dodgers, and that's just coming from a fan, and I don't know if we ever will. Sometimes guys, you know how it is as a coach. You've coached for a long time, Casey. Sometimes guys are who they are, and it's hard to get guys to change their personalities, and you don't want them to be fake about it.
Yes.
But I really like seeing Vesia act the way he acts. I like seeing Kyle Hurt look the way he looks. I like seeing Robo not backing down in the World Series and throwing at a guy and said, "You want some? Let's go." Like, I like that. I like seeing a second-year guy in Dalton Rushing care that much about being a Dodger and being the bad guy. I like that.
Yeah.
So that's me as the fan.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. So there's a saying that you need to play with emotions, okay? You need to play with emotions. I mean, competitiveness, that's an emotion. Being competitive is an emotion. So you need to play with emotions, but you need to do it while not being emotional. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like Alex Vesia, his issue was that he crossed the line from playing with emotion to being too emotional, and it affected his performance. So what he perfected was, how do I keep this emotion but not be emotional about it, to where like I'm just hinging my emotions on every single result with every pitch. Robleski's had to learn that too.
Yeah.
There's a definite art to that. So there's an art to Justin Robleski being so emotional that he's actually having so much emotions that he's actually being emotional, and that's negatively affecting him because instead of executing better, he's throwing the ball harder, right? So I think that's kind of what we're saying about the Dodgers is it's okay to have emotions. Now, do you want to be emotional about it? No, but we would like to see a few more emotions on this team.
Yeah, they all look like Steve Garvey. I don't know if people even, I mean, maybe I'm dating myself here. They all look like Steve Garvey and Bill Russell. I want them to more, have the, I don't know, Mike Scioscia temperament behind the plate when somebody tries to run him over and he just gets them, like that's what I'm looking for. And Oral Hershiser, as nice as he is on air, he was nicknamed the Bulldog from Lasorda for a reason, because he was an animal on the mound. He was a killer on the mound. And, Gagne, those guys, and, Fernando, for me sometimes, Jason, and I don't think this is – I just want more from the Dodgers sometimes, No doubt. I just want more. They're just not an emotional team, and sometimes I want more from them, if that makes sense. And you see it. You see it every now and then, and when you do see it, it's like you get tears in your eyes. Oh, my gosh, this is my team. But I want to see it more. I really would like to see it more from them. Yeah.
So let me give you another example. You missed one. Obviously not the only reason, but one of the largest reasons 1988 went the way it did was because of Kirk Gibson. And it was way more than just the home run he hit. It was the, hey, guys, we're going to kick ass and take names. And if you don't do that, I'm going to be on your ass as your teammate. I am not allowing anybody around me just to be a stiff. I mean, he brought that edge to that clubhouse. And that's kind of what we're talking about right now. This is all a total overreaction. Again, I'm going to say it again. Dodgers are still in first place. They won the last two World Series. As Austin said, they still have the highest floor and the highest ceiling as an offense. Their pitching has been elite, anywhere from elite to really good. Yeah. And certainly in spots it's been elite. So we're being complete spoiled brats here. I'm going to completely admit that. I'm going to say it again. I don't care. We're covering all the issues that are pissing me off right now. So there you go.
No, Casey, what we're doing is we're acting like coaches behind closed doors, sitting there having a drink after the game saying, man, things are this, and this. This is what I really would like to see. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Yeah. We understand we have a team that's good, that has the capability. Like you brought up what Austin said, the floor and the ceiling. This team is capable and should win a third world championship in a row. But we're just talking from it as a coach's perspective. Nothing negative. I am still perfectly fine. The Dodgers are in first place. That's just like there's just little things. I think we look at it from a coaching perspective, and not even it's just a coach's perspective. That's all that this is. And this is why it's good to come on Dodgers Daily, because you could look at it this way and say, you know what, we're still in first place, but boy, you could see a couple things if things did this and this, and no, that's the way we're looking at it. So I hope people don't think it's negative, because I'm not negative. I'm extremely excited with what we're at right now.
It's just kind of, as a fan and as a coach, you always want to try to analyze and figure out how to find the best version of what you can be. That's all I'm doing. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we have a question from the chat from Jay for you specifically. Roki Sasaki admitted after his first good start that he didn't have any confidence going into the game. Is that a red flag? we're mistranslating that via the culture that he comes from, or is it just fine to be that honest about it?
I think it's good that he's honest about it. I mean, for one, I find it confusing because if I'm Roki, I should have all the confidence in the world with the team that's behind me. And so that's, I'm going to say I'm a little concerned by that comment.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm concerned. I don't know if there was a cultural thing in there and it was translated the right way, but to not have confidence. So where is that coming from? That's an interesting comment. So Jay, I love that you brought that up. I'm concerned by that. I'm going to be the first time maybe I'm concerned about something. I do remember seeing something about that, and I probably brushed it off. Why is there concern? Are you concerned that you're not living up to your own expectations? Are you concerned that there's been expectations put on you that we don't know about? That's an interesting comment. It's concerning to me. There should be no worry. You're Roki, go out there and just pitch. Casey, what is your thought on that one?
I think we assume, since he is Asian, that getting underneath the wing of Yoshi and Shohei is a positive thing for him, and it is overall. But I think initially it's pressure because Shohei Ohtani happens to be the greatest player of our generation. Yoshinobu Yamamoto happens to be, if not the best pitcher in the game of baseball, one of, right? Yeah. So here comes Sasaki, and he's like, well, those are my dudes, and I can't be this guy that's just tagging along, being the third guy to those guys. Yeah. So in my mind, he's not. Whenever he's saying he doesn't have confidence, so there's a saying, hey, we're going to go roll out the baseballs, and we're going to see who's the better team at playing the game of baseball today. So as a pitcher, you go out and you say, I want to pitch like this. I don't care what the other team does to me because I have my goals as far as how I want to pitch, and I'm confident enough in myself to where if I reach my own benchmarks, they won't be able to hit me, right? So I think that comment to me says that he's living up to expectations of the results of Shohei and Yoshi instead of evaluating, if I just do what Roki Sasaki's capable of, it's going to be just fine. I think that's a mentality shift that you get only with experience.
So it's concerning to me. Where's his people behind him in his corner saying, man, just go out there and throw the ball? That's what's concerning to me. Right. I'm not concerned about Roki, which most 99% of the Dodger fans are. I'm still kind of debating, is he a starter or is a reliever in KC? And I've sent that in a group chat to you before, a personal text. But where are the people in his corner saying, man, just go out and throw the ball? So that's what's concerning. I wonder what his support system is like. And if he doesn't have a good one, that stinks, man, because that's tough being in a new place. And you're right. The pressure of those other guys on the team to live up to that, and maybe in his mind he wants to live up to that, that's tough. So that's a very interesting statement, Jay. So good job bringing that out. That was a great statement that you brought out there.
Also, remember, he hasn't signed his big paycheck yet. Yeah. So that's another pressure that, like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, okay, so you want to know what real pressure is? I got a $5 bet with my buddy on the 17th hole, and I got $2 in my pocket, which means if I miss this putt, I got to tell my buddy that I just made a bet that I can't pay, right? That's pressure. So Yoshinobu Yamamoto, if he goes out and he totally sucks, okay, that's going to that's not going to be good. But the dude's set for life. He's a millionaire. He's a gillionaire. His grandparents or his grandkids are set for life. Yeah. Sasaki has that added pressure of not only do I need to live up to the expectations of Yoshi and Shohei, I haven't got my big paycheck yet. I came over for a hell of a lot less money than I could have made. And so if I really want to be set like I should be, these are the results I need to get. So I think that's another added layer of pressure that Yoshi and Shohei didn't have.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. So, I mean, those guys have generational money. Roki has 1 year money.
Yeah, he's not poor, but I mean, he's not generational, right?
No. Well, in LA terms, he's poor.
Yeah. Which is why you live in Oklahoma and love it, right?
Amen to that.
Okay. I'm done being negative. Okay. If it's being negative, I'm I'm just kind of giving all the things that I see that aren't the best version right now. So, okay, rotation trends. How about Shohei Ohtani? He's not hitting, and I think the pitching aspect of it is getting back into the groove of doing both. I think that plays a large role in the offensive aspects of this. It's like being a switch hitter. You know, if you're going to take 100 cuts a day, the question is, then do you take 50 right-handed and 50 left-handed? Yeah. Well, everybody else is getting 100 cuts the same hand. You're only getting half. So then do you have to take 100 on each side? I always ask switch hitters that, and they never give me a good answer. So that's why one of the reasons why switch hitting is so tough. So you're splitting time between bullpens, pitching in a game. Different people don't understand, too. It's a whole new set of pregame conferences. It's a whole new set of demands and time. He's now having to go over all the other team's hitters. He's having to work with all the catchers, and he's having to go through all the other. So we see all the talent. We see the results. You don't understand. It's double the amount of preparation time. It's double the amount of work that you have to do to go into games, and it's going to be fine. It's just at the very beginning of that can be overwhelming even for a guy like Shohei Ohtani, even for a guy like Mookie Betts last year, which is why I had that narrative I had for him. That, by the way, wasn't wrong. Again, I'm wrong a lot, but I wasn't wrong on that one. It's overwhelming even for these guys when you double their workload.
Yeah, and for Ohtani, for me, it's a blessing and a curse. So, I mean, I talked about this before. He wanted to get 50 stolen bases. He got 50 stolen bases. He wanted to hit 50 home runs. He hit 50. He wants to do this. Yeah. He does it. All of a sudden now he wants to win a Cy Young, and now you look at him, he's at, 0.97 ERA, 4 earned runs, 42 Ks. I mean, he's on a worldly pace right now as a pitcher. I think he gets – sometimes I think just from my weird thoughts sitting around thinking about it, he gets so consumed with one thing that it overtakes everything. And I almost think it has overtaken him hitting right now, that he is so focused. And, and they've said many times, Joe Davis and Earl Hershiser have said many times that his greatest thing and his best thing that he loves more than anything else is pitching. Mm-hmm. So we're taking a lot of the hitting stuff for granted, I guess. But it's like Ohtani says he wants to win a Cy Young. It's like, Casey, he's like on pace to win a Cy Young.
Yes,
That's how good he is. So it's tough. It's a blessing and a curse for me. It's really, really tough because we expect so much from the guy. He's not hitting well right now. That's not like an exaggeration. He's not hitting well. I eventually think he's going to. I think he's too good. He's the best player on the planet. He's the best player since Babe Ruth, right? I mean, I don't think there's even an argument about that. But the man says he wants to win a Cy Young, and he's on pace to win a Cy Young. That tells me how good this dude is. It's frustrating because I wish he could kind of say, like there's 50% of me that wants to win a Cy Young and there's 50% of me that wants to win a batting title. Like, can we just split it down?
Which one have you been hearing him talk about the most this year?
To me, it's the pitching, right?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you, the focus of it.
Yeah, and that's where you're saying, like, people don't understand, like, there's so much that goes into it and preparing for each hitter and all of that stuff, and this is what he's consumed with right now. Mm-hmm. So it's tough. For me, it's a blessing and a curse, and I don't know any other way to put it. It's frustrating because he's leading off and he's swinging wildly, and he just doesn't. He has this facial expression that he's looking off into the sky, like what is going on? But then he gets on the mound and he's doggone Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson. It seems, it's frustrating and it's a blessing at the same time. So I don't know any way to put it.
Yeah. So over his last 4 starts, 144 ERA, 34 strikeouts in 25 innings. Opponents are hitting 180 against Shohei Ohtani. His walks and hits per inning, his whip is 0.84, which anything under 120 is real good. Hitters aren't squaring him up. His whip is under one in every split. Every single split for Shohei Ohtani, his whip is under 1. Strikeout rate is elite. I mean, so it's like this guy is definitely on pace to win the Cy Young. Yeah. And, kind of reminds me of a coach of where you're missing free throws or you're not playing the ball screen right. And you're like, and as a coach, you take it personally. You're like, damn it, we may lose, but it's not going to be because of that anymore, right?
Yeah.
So then you just spend so much time on, like if you're striking out too much, you spend so much time on correcting that one skill. Well, then you end up losing because you're not as good at the other 98% of the things that you were doing fairly decent before you got obsessed about this one thing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with Shohei Ohtani's pitching, is that he's become so obsessed. You know, it's kind of like I tell my kids, I'm getting long-winded here. Sorry, I'll get it back to you here in just a second. I always tell my kids, first day of school, if you make above an 89.5, okay, you have wasted your time in here. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you going to get out of a 95 that you're not going to get out of an 89.5? I said, all you're going to get out of it is extra time spent that you could have put somewhere else, right? So kind of what I'm saying about Shohei Ohtani is, yes, he's completely dominant. Yes, he's this and that. But there needs to be some kind of calibration to where maybe he's not quite as dominant as a pitcher because he's so obsessed with pitching. So maybe the pitching relaxes a little bit, but then the offense gets better. And now we have maybe a less of a pitcher, but a better overall two-way player. I don't know if that made any sense.
That's why it's a blessing and a curse. That's what I mean.
Yes.
I mean, you said it. What I'm trying to say, it's a blessing, man. We've got this dominant dude on the mound, and then we just have a guy fluttering right now at the plate. And that's why I'm saying I wish he could just 50-50 it, man. I wish he could just 50-50 it for us.
What'd you think about Blake Snell? I thought he looked great, and at times I wasn't worried about him at all.
I wasn't bothered at all, and I, it drove me nuts looking at. And I should never have looked at social media. Why did Dave do this, and why did Dave do that? Blake Snell. I mean, if you really want to break it down from a baseball perspective, I mean, some of those balls that were hit. I mean, those come on now. I mean, that was just baseball right there. It wasn't like he was throwing bad, in my opinion. I like that Blake's back. I think he looked fine. It just gives us more depth. And when Glasnow gets back, I mean, what a rotation that is. No, I was perfectly fine with what I saw from Blake Snell. It was great to see him back. And some of the first couple innings, man, those are just some lucky plays and lucky hits, and it's just baseball.
I think the key to him, and it's always been the key to him, because the command is that's what we call the Blake Snell experience. Is like, you're, as a fan, you're just always, oh my God, we're going to walk this guy, and he's behind this county. And the next thing you know, it's like, holy hell, Blake Snell just went through 7 innings and gave up 1 run and 2 hits. I mean, it's like, and it felt like he was on edge the whole game. That's the Blake Snell experience, right? So the key to him, to me, is what does the stuff actually look like? And the stuff was elite. I mean, just the metrics of everything that he threw to the plate was elite. The results weren't. Obviously, the command issues weren't. But whenever you're asking a guy to cut off his rehab and basically rehab his way back in a major league environment, so you got to realize in a rehab, you're not pitching to a scouting report. You're still trying to get all of your ducks in a row. And so you're just kind of throwing it up there based on what you need to be doing to get healthy again, not throwing to a scouting report. So if the other team hits you, they're major league hitters. No duh to me, because you're not throwing to a scouting report. So obviously the command issues, the control issues, that was pretty predictable, but I was very encouraged by just the way the stuff looked for Blake Snell.
Yeah, and I like to reference this a lot because I think fans out there really listen to what Oral Hershiser says when it comes to pitching.
Yes.
First off, he said this was not a controlled environment like it is on their rehab. Everything is controlled in what they're doing. Like Oral brought that up pretty much. And you said the Blake Snell experience. Blake Snell never gives in. Like Oral Hershiser brought that up multiple times. He never gives in no matter what. And what I liked is Snell competed. He looked frustrated when some plays didn't go his way in those blue pits, or there was an error or an errant throw. His stuff to me was electric. It looked elite. You're right. You go through 7 innings of sweat, and you're sweaty, and you're like, oh my gosh, Blake Snell's. And then it's one run, 8 Ks, and it's like you're right. That's the Blake Snell experience. But I really, Case, I have learned so much by just sitting back and listening to Oral Hershiser talk. And when he starts talking pitching, and it's not just Dodger this, Dodger that, it's just in the game in general. He knows the pitching. And when Oral Hershiser didn't seem concerned about Blake Snell, why should I be concerned? And that's just kind of the way I looked at it from a basketball coach who loves the Dodgers and watches every single game. I learned a lot from Oral Hershiser, and Oral didn't seem concerned. So why should I be?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so Justin Wrobleski, Austin could not have nailed this any better. So he's backed off on the stuff. He's tried to improve execution. I went over this last time Austin and I were talking. If you go back to his first outing, he got sped up, and he started trying to throw the ball through a roof to Rhys Hoskins, and it didn't work out for him, so they backed it off, went back to execution. We specifically said last Wednesday on our show, at some point, the offenses will adjust to that. They'll figure out a sequencing, and they'll start hitting him. That point was today. So then we also said, well, then that's when he's going to have to go back into, well, then I need to bump my fastball up to about 96. I need to go rely on more stuff heavy than execution. I think that's the outing today for Justin Wrobleski. I was proud of him for moving on. I think I agree with Jay that it was probably a little bit excessive how far he went in that game, but give him credit. That's just the kind of dog he is. So where are we at with Justin Wrobleski?
I listened to that episode, and you and Austin hit the nail on the head. You guys always do. I mean, I learn a lot from you guys, you and Austin. So, you could see it coming. I guess that's the way you want to say it. I mean, he's everything has been contact, and the ball is always being put into play. And when you pitch like that, I don't know, I'm an idiot when it comes to some of this stuff. But when you're always putting the ball in play and it's Major League Baseball, you're going to have an outing like this. Yes. Or teams, the scout is going to be, they're the Braves. They're right now. I mean, let's just admit it. They're the best team in baseball in terms of the record. They're going to make plays. They're going to hit the ball. But what I like to see is that he battled through it. He got in through eighth inning. I don't know if that was the right thing to do, like you're saying. I don't know. But he got through 8 because Robo's a stud. Yeah. And he wants to be on that mound so badly, and he wants to be in the rotation. But I don't know all the analytics behind things that you and Austin were talking about, but just from a general sitting on my couch watching this guy from the last 2 years, you could see it coming, and he's going to adjust and figure it out from there. But I think Robo, I talked about it on my own show about the rotation. I think Robo needs to be in the rotation. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be in the rotation. If you want to just kind of go Roki and Sheehan, those guys are questionable to me. Robo, I think Robo is a surefire, let's be in the rotation guy, and I'm putting my money on that Robo is going to be that guy.
You got about 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You mentioned him. I love him where Emmett Sheehan's at right now. I've seen Emmett Sheehan all the way back. The consistency aspect, he's always had the bullying stuff. But I never was quite sure if he could ever become a true, legitimate 3-pitch pitcher, which is what you need to be, even if you have a dominant fastball. And he's starting to flip some curveballs in to steal some strikes. So that's a great usage of a curveball. The slider's good, the changeup's good, the fastball's good. So what I see right now is a legitimate 3-pitch pitcher with a 4th pitch that can steal some strikes for him. And then within that window, the stuff is still just as dominant as it always has been. So his last 5 starts for Emmett Sheehan, 3.71 ERA, 35 strikeouts in 26.2 innings. Last start was absolutely awesome, 7 strikeouts in 4. It didn't go very long, but 7 Ks in 4.2 innings. So the strikeout stuff's real. The command is definitely improving, and he's becoming harder to hit. I said this 3 outings ago. Even whenever he gave up some runs, I really see Emmett Sheehan behind the curtains doing all. It's kind of like a hitter. They start having great at-bats for a week, but they're not showing results. You keep having those quality at-bats, and eventually the results take care of himself. That's really where I think Emmett Sheehan's at right now. He's on the edge or the verge of really breaking out and becoming pretty dominant, I think.
I would not disagree with you. What I was trying to say is I think that's where the question marks would be.
Yes.
Would be Emmett and Roki.
No doubt.
Not Robo, but I'm with you on Sheehan. I'm never going to go against Emmett Sheehan. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite Dodgers. I love watching him pitch. He's a warrior out there. He fights. And you broke it down analytically and from a baseball mind that you're seeing some positivity. I liked his last outing. He didn't get to go long because his pitch count got so high, but I like him in the rotation. I really do. And now they said that he was adjusting. His velocity upticked a little bit better. And it maybe had nothing to do with his arm not being, or just it had something to do with his mechanics. And you're right, behind the curtain, yeah, I mean, maybe he fixed that type of stuff. And I love Sheehan. Like, if you told me to choose between Sheehan and Roki, I'm taking Sheehan every time, every single time. So, yeah, I like what you said about Sheehan. I'm on board with Sheehan also. But if you wanted me to say between Sheehan and Robo, I'm all in on Robo. All in on Robo.
So, yes, no doubt. So, keep in mind when we evaluate Yoshinobu Yamamoto, it's on a is he pitching at a Cy Young level type. That's how those are the standards that we set for Yoshi, right? So, last 4 starts, 3.51 ERA, 2.13 batting average against, 26 strikeouts in 25 innings. Here I go being a spoiled brat again. Again, remember, I'm evaluating this based on I expect him to give me Cy Young results every time he takes the mound. So the trend is he's not getting as much swing and miss. There's more competitive baseballs getting put into play against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And right now, it's not that he's been bad or anything. It's just that it's kind of like, well, hitters are starting to hit him a little bit more. We saw what happened to Robleski today. He's kind of had that trend too. Yeah. Am I making something up in my head that there's anything to be, I don't know, look at behind the curtains that might get him down the road?
No, not for me. I've never even, when you were sitting here bringing up those numbers, I just never really even thought about the numbers. And he's our guy. I mean, he's our, I mean, what Ohtani's doing, but he's our ace of our staff. I mean, that's how I look at it. He's our ace, and then you've got Ohtani, right?
Yeah.
No, I've never looked at it. It's May. I mean, it's just in today's baseball world, you're not going to see too many times those dominant 1 through 162 performances in every single outing that's just going to be nails, right? You're just not going to see that anymore. The scouting reports are too good. The analytics are too good. The video is too good. I mean, guys are not watching like in the 80s on VHS anymore and having to copy their own video. I mean, you're now looking at virtual reality where they could throw in a machine that throws just like this dude and throws the exact same pitches. I mean, we've heard them talk about this stuff. So, no, I am not concerned about him at all. I am not concerned one bit at all.
I will say that the guys that pitch to contact and they pitch the ball to the perimeters, the ABS system, the challenge system will hurt them. Because if an umpire does want to steal a couple of strikes for them because they've been, it's that old, hey, if you hit your spots and you've been consistent, you get the borderlines. Not with an ABS system, because an umpire doesn't want to have a 40% correct. It's either a strike or it's not. It doesn't matter if you hit. That's the one downfall. I think it takes a little bit of the baseballish away from the game, if you will. So I will say, if you're relying on trying to put the ball in play on weak contact, I do think the ABS is going to hurt you there. Okay, let's get into the bullpen before we get out of here, Coach. I could not be more proud of Tanner Scott. What a stud this guy has been. Last 11 outings, 1.69 ERA, an 0.56 whip, a 1.14 batting average against. Last 5 outings for Tanner Scott. How about that? Atta-baby Tanner Scott. He deserves an atta-baby.
I'm fired up for him, for all the baloney he took last year.
Baloney's the right word.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. And I think the only witness I have is my wife. And I always was excited when he came into the game, and I always was bummed out when it didn't go well for them. So my wife is the only one that could back me on that. But it is what it is. I'm happy for him. He looks like a legit guy. That this is the guy that they brought in. And I hope it continues, because I could just envision him in the playoffs in the way that Dodgers will use him and the situations that he could be put in. I'm pumped for Tanner. And you're right, the bullpen, man, they've been smoking awesome. Awesome.
The lefties and then Kyle Hurt. That's who it's been. Blake Trinan's been inconsistent. I think he is who he is. He's going to be a down-to-the-wire decision what you do with him in the postseason. If the Dodgers get there, obviously. You as my witness. We got a couple guys we're going to talk about, then get out of here. You as my witness. I think I was the only one that used to talk about how good Alex Vesia was for like an entire year and a half. This guy is a straight-up stud.
I am your witness. You've talked about him. You were all on board. I will say the only guy that I'm concerned about is Henrique.
No doubt.
And you could go back and look at other episodes. I think two summers ago, I said he wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. Then he burst onto the scene. I'm just not sold on him. So if there's one Dodger out there, I'm just not sold on this guy yet. I think he's great when he comes in. He throws 101. I think that's exciting. But the 5+ ERA from the bullpen that's been rock solid. He's the one guy that I'm sure you and Austin are going to break down eventually and give me all of the reasons why. But I'm concerned about Henrique. I don't know what his place is and where he stands.
Coach, you and I have been on the same page for that guy. Well, we saw it in Oklahoma City. I saw it you saw it in Tulsa.
Yep.
I mean, major leaguers will time a bullet if it's straight, and if you're behind the count and they know it's coming. And then here's another problem when you already have guys on. So, like, Oklahoma State just went to Arizona State, who's one of the better offensive teams. They hit a lot of home runs, and it's in the desert, okay?
Yeah.
So, kind of my point to OSU's pitchers were, and I messaged a bunch of them, was, hey, you're going to give up a lot of hits, and you're going to give up some home runs, okay? What you can't do is put them on base with walks in front of it. Yeah. So when they do, make them hit 5 singles in a row to score 2 runs. They won't do that very often. But if you walk 2 or 3 with that, now instead of it being a 1 or a 2 spot, it's a 5 spot. Now, so that kind of deal. So that's kind of – Enriquez can have all the great stuff plus he wants, but if he's putting guys on base or getting behind in the count, it's not going to matter. Major League, we saw that. Hell, AAA guys were nailing his ass because of that. Yeah. AA guys. Okay, and then the last guy I wanted to talk about here before we get into some chemistry, my man, the undrafted free agent, Jack Dreyer. This dude is a stud. Last 12 outings, 188 ERA, 0.77 whip. Last 15 and 7 days, so what is that like? Last 8 outings, something like that. No runs given up. Minimal walks, so he is exactly what I'm talking about. Doesn't walk very many people. The contact's not great against him, and he goes more than 1 inning.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably difficult to explain just how valuable Jack Dreyer is in this bullpen.
He's a guy you need. I mean, he's an unsung hero. I love Jack Dreyer. Every time he comes into the game, it's like, all right, I feel good about him coming in the game. I just wish he would wear a little looser hat. His hat looks real tight on his head. I'm excited that he's pitching well. I mean, it's always good to see those type of guys. Plus, you got me really wanting to follow Jack Dreyer by just listening to you guys talk about him here on Dodgers Daily. And I became a fan because you guys were fans. And it's exciting to see when you got a guy, like you said, an undrafted guy that's worked his way into this thing, that doesn't get a lot of high publicity, and he just goes about his business. And that's Jack Dreyer, and I think it's awesome.
I lied. One more guy, your boy Andy Pages. I'll tell you, the hot start, I expected that. Okay. Told you he's going to go cold. Very proud of Andy from bouncing back and getting hot again. To me, the adjustment and getting hot again shows more sustainability than the initial being hot coming out of the gate. I think this last stretch has proven more to me than anything else. Well,
I love Pages. Man, that's my dude right there. I will always, I ride or die with Andy Pages. I'll make this super quick. What he's doing, he's making a lot of money from my younger brother, Jeff. My brother has a lot of baseball card interest into him. Now that Pages is playing well, my brother's cards are going way up. He's got all these autographed cards from Pages. So that's the good thing. My brother's really excited because he's going to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so final thoughts here. The Braves are the best team in the National League, yes?
I would say at this moment, yes.
Yes, at this moment. So I think what they exposed from the Dodgers this weekend, offensive inconsistency, the problems the Dodgers have with the swing and miss, especially middle to the bottom of the lineup, rotation uncertainty behind glass now. We saw that with Blake Snell and Robo. Heavy dependence on just 1 or 2 guys per game, okay? Then I think the positives are Andy Pages, the bullpen. Freddie Freeman obviously got his 100th home run. That's awesome. Max Muncy's having a good year, and the overall pitching staff is actually pretty dominant. So those are the takeaways for me. Final thoughts, Coach Barikoff.
I think this is a big week. you've got the Giants and the Angels. It's a big week for me. I would like to see the Dodgers get some consistency at the plate. I would like to see us to go deeper like we have been with our starting pitching. I would like to see Freddie Freeman start acting like Freddie. Betts is coming back. I think he's going to give some energy back into it. And my last thought is I'm really intrigued to see what the Dodgers do with Betts coming in and what guy gets put on the IL or gets brought back down to Oklahoma City. So a big week for the Dodgers. You got the Giants and the Angels. I hate the Giants. I hate the Orange County Angels, but I hate the Giants more than anything else in all of sports. So I'd like to see the Dodgers continue to keep them in last place, and I'd like to see them get a little bit of a push ahead of the Padres. So big week for me with the Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Always, always, always go Dodgers. You and I both, Case, we bleed Dodger blue.
We absolutely do. Okay, so I think that guy that would probably get DFA'd will be Santiago Espinal. So I don't think they're going to touch Freeland or Kim. I think they're happy with that. I think it probably would be Santiago Espinal. But, Coach, great job. It's been great to see your face again. Congratulations again on your new head coaching gig at Enid. By the way, I broadcasted their regional baseball game this weekend. Been doing some state playoffs. I've had, now that I'm not coaching anymore or umpiring's done, I've had 4 or 5 people call to see if I can do things. So
yeah, you and Coach Holt.
That's correct. We had a good time. So I got a chance to say to Coach Gore, got a chance to give you a shout out, and then also before we get out of here, tell everybody where they can reach and find all of your new stuff that you got going on.
Well, yeah, it's you can follow me. It's Dodgers Ravine. It's the I'm looking at it right here. It's the Ravine Rundown. You can look it up on YouTube. It's going to be the same type of stuff that Casey and I talk about. I mean, if it wasn't for Casey, this company never would have picked me up. And I'm still going to be here a regular on Dodgers Daily. But the Ravine Rundown, it's right now. It's been my younger brother Jeff and I have been doing it, and it's been really cool. I'm trying to bring a lot of positivity to other platforms other than just Dodgers Daily, but you can find me on Twitter. It's the Ravine Rundown, or Coach Barikoff on X. I guess it's X now, right, Case? But that's the stuff that's going on for me. I love talking Dodger baseball, but what I love is what the Dodger Daily platform gives. It gives positivity. We talk about the prospects, and you get a true Dodgers approach to all of this. So, Case, I appreciate you. And, again, I'm back in Oklahoma because you and Coach Holt, man. If it wasn't for you guys, never would have found that one job. So I appreciate you guys, fantastic. And it's been good. And hopefully I'll see everybody next Sunday.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot, man. Great job, dude.
See you, man. Hey,
I forgot to tell everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.